Legionnaire. Glad you could make it. I've got some news I wanted to deliver to you. Ready? More problems, soldier. Your father, Valus Smokemane, has gone AWOL. He disobeyed direct orders, stole from the High Legions, and abandoned his warband.
My father was a loose cannon sometimes, but betraying the Legions? That doesn't sound like him.
That may be, but he ran off with a powerful idol his warband was guarding. It has magic linked to the human god Balthazar. If it falls into the wrong hands, it'll complicate our peace talks with the humans. Emmer Whipmane, your father's legionnaire, has always clashed with him. I can't trust her report, but with you in the field, I can get a more informed opinion. He is your father, after all.
To be clear, I don't know my father very well, but I'll do what I can, sir.
Good. Start with the main warband in Human's Lament. Pick up Valus's trail, track him down, and bring him in. Alive. Dismissed.
Hey, this is the Pizza here, and this is some more Guild Wars 2 footage. So continuing on with the personal story, after taking out the Flame Legion outside our encampment, we discover that my father has gone AWOL, and we need to do something about that. So I'm going to try to pick up the trail of my father. So the story's getting a little bit of drama into it. And here I'm using the rifle. The rifle I found to be... Well, actually, I kind of like the rifle and the longbow equally well as the ranged weapons for the warrior. Those are the only two ranged weapons for the warrior. You can't use the pistols or short bows, which are the other two. And staves are... Well, some weapons are ranged in some classes' hands and others, so it's sort of difficult to define what is and isn't a ranged weapon, and some more dialogue.
Legionnaire Whipmane, Tribune Brimstone dispatched me to assist with your AWOL soldier.
What? Brimstone thinks we can't handle one lousy traitor by ourselves?
You've got it wrong. I'm here because Valus is my father. The Tribune believes that makes me likely to have some insight into the situation.
If that's what the Tribune wants, but he needs to burn me! An ambush!
On it. My warband will punch through those ghosts like a dagger through silk.
So that dialogue clearly isn't complete yet, but as I was saying, it's sort of difficult to distinguish what is and isn't a ranged weapon. Because in the hands of a Mesmer, a great sword is actually a ranged weapon. So it's sort of interesting how that works. So it was pretty cool. This siege started out, I turned around and I see these arrows just flying in from above, and the ghosts assault the main gate. There's quite a few ghosts here and they're doing a bit of damage. Now we need to try to make it to safer ground, which actually just means you go back to the beginning of the mission, pretty much. Yeah, you just pretty much go back to the beginning. Some more ghosts there. Do I decide to fight? Yep, I decide to fight him. What can I say? I like to fight things. And now I'm using a mace and an axe. This is a alright combo for me. Wasn't too fond of it because, like I said, I don't really like the mace or the hammer too much. I like to slash things more than crush things. The mace and the hammer are all about controlling your enemy with stuns or knockbacks or something like that, whereas slashing weapons such as sword and axe are more about putting conditions like crippled, bleeding, and stuff like that. And also the mace is good for cracking their armor. I forget what it's called. But yeah, you pretty much degrade their armor so they can do more damage. So there we go. Pretty much taking out all the ghosts there. And my backpack is full. Oh, and I picked up another skill for my skill bar, which is a mine, which you can see right there next to me. It was actually a really useful skill. You throw it on this mine, and it's got a pretty short cooldown, and you cast it pretty much instantly. It's got a short range though, to how far you can throw the mine. But if an enemy walks over it, they take a bit of damage and become crippled. I can't remember if they're also bleeding or not, but I do remember that they're crippled. And that saved me in many situations. When I was running away from an enemy, I'd throw a mine where I knew they'd walk over it, and then cripple them so I could get away. So that was a pretty interesting elite, not elite skill, but skill for my skill bar, and I didn't think it'd be that useful at first, but I actually found myself liking it and just stuck with it for the rest of the beta weekend.
For Blood Legion.
So we're a bit glitchy right here because I met back up with the warband and it just sort of didn't do anything. And then the cutscene finally kicks off.
This here is Valus's cub. Seems Tribune Brimstone thinks he needs to keep an eye on us. Better muzzle yourselves unless you want to end up in a report.
I don't care. I've been in plenty of reports, and you saved our tails with those ghosts, Legionnaire. If I can help, just ask. Name's Hosta Sharplane.
Sure. First, I need clarification. Any idea why my father took that idol?
Separatists jumped us. They took Cesric hostage and promised they'd spare his life if we gave him the idol.
And I said no deal. Separatists wouldn't keep him alive for anything, much less a civilized exchange. But Valus refused to accept that.
If Valus believed them, and plans to make the deal, where would he do it?
Ask around at Ashford Forum. Valus liked to go drinking there with his Norn buddy, Fibar.
Ah, thanks, Hosta. I forgot about that lowlife. If he knows anything, I'll make sure he talks. See you there, Legionnaire.
And so that's the end of that relatively short mission. Next time we're going to continue the search for our father, and I'll see you next time.